Today, we're going deeper. We're on a mission to unpack some genuinely intriguing ideas about building wealth.
Exactly. We found this YouTube essay, and it really digs into not just like the financial strategies, but also the psychology of wealth.
Yeah.
The beliefs we have about money.
Yeah, it's like they were reading our minds. Like right out of the gate, the video tackles those assumptions we've all heard. All rich people are dishonest, or money is the root of all evil.
hmm
It's almost like it's taboo to even want to be wealthy.
And these narratives are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Movies, the news, even just casual conversations. It's rare to see wealth portrayed as a result of, say, genuine generosity
Right.
or innovation. It's usually tied to, like, greed or something, which makes us question, like, our own desires for financial success, right?
Totally. It's like you're afraid to even dream of financial freedom because then you're like the villain in your own story. So, have you ever felt that? Like that if you wish for more, you're somehow betraying your values?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is where the video takes a really interesting turn. It argues that money in itself is neutral.
Okay.
It's just a tool.
Hmm.
It's how we use it, the choices we make that give it meaning.
So it's like a hammer. You can build a house with it, or you can, yeah, you get the idea.
Exactly.
It's not the tool, it's the user.
Precisely. And it even gets into, like, a religious perspective, suggesting that prosperity is actually aligned with a higher purpose for believers.
Okay.
We won't get into a whole theological debate here, but it is an interesting angle.
It definitely makes you think, right? Okay, so we're challenging these assumptions, but then the video throws this, like, where do you stand moment at you. It lays out these 4 levels of financial stability. It's like a reality check on your journey from just surviving to actually thriving.
From barely making ends meet to actually having a surplus to invest, it's a whole spectrum. It reminds us that financial well-being isn't just about, like, having enough to pay your bills, but about reaching a point where your money is working for you.
Yes. Like, imagine how different your life would feel if you weren't constantly stressed about bills, you know? This framework really highlights the psychological impact of each of these stages.
Absolutely. Because it's never just about the numbers, is it? Our relationship with money is so tied to our emotions, our well-being, that sense of security, freedom.
And that brings us to the part I love, the practical stuff, the nitty-gritty tips for managing your money.
The stuff we tend to overlook, right?
Yeah, totally.
Well, the video digs into this. Like, it stresses the importance of tracking your expenses, being mindful of those impulse buys that can really sneak up on you.
Hmm.
And of course, the real danger of credit card debt. It's like the silent killer of wealth.
Ugh, tell me about it. I think we've all been there, right? Swiping that plastic a little too freely, thinking, I'll figure it out later.
Right.
But then later turns into this, like, mountain of debt.
It's so true. And the video makes a really interesting point about this. They say that most people, they don't fall into credit card debt because they can't afford the essentials. The groceries.
Really?
Yeah, it's the little extras.
Oh,
The
wow.
treat yourself moments that really add up.
So true. We convince ourselves it's just a coffee here, a new gadget there. But those seemingly small choices,
They add up.
they can really impact your whole financial well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this examination of our spending habits leads to one of the, I think, most intriguing concepts in the video, the 5 levels of money. It's like taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture of how our money should be flowing.
Okay, so instead of just focusing on earning and spending, which, let's be honest, that's most of us, right?
Right.
This is like a more holistic approach.
Yeah, exactly. And it all starts with, of course, earning. That's the foundation. But here's where it gets interesting. The video argues we shouldn't stop at just earning and spending.
Mm.
We need to engage with investing, saving, keeping, and then finally spending.
Wait, hold on. Keeping, that's a new one. What is that? Like, are we channeling our inner squirrel, burying some nuts for later?
It's more about being intentional with a portion of your income. Like, think of it as creating a reservoir of abundance.
Okay, I mean, that sounds intriguing,
Hmm.
but like, practically speaking, is this like hiding cash under the mattress? What are we talking about here?
Not quite. It's more about setting aside a portion of your earnings, almost like a sacred space where your money can breathe and theoretically attract more abundance. The video calls it personal tithing.
Okay, now you're gonna have to explain this one a little bit because my skepticism is real right now.
There you go. But hear me out. The core idea is by consistently demonstrating that you're not just focused on acquiring, but also on holding and growing your wealth, you're aligning yourself with the flow of abundance, like sending out a signal that you're ready to receive.
So it's more about the mindset shift. Okay. I mean, I can see how that could be powerful, especially if you believe in that kind of energy exchange, you know what I mean? But what if you're more of a show me the numbers kind of person?
Totally valid.
Mm.
But even if you're not sold on the spiritual aspect, the practical application of this, setting aside a portion of your income for the sole purpose of attracting more wealth, that in itself is a fascinating concept, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's like planting a seed and watching it grow, right? Okay, but speaking of fascinating, you know what else I found really interesting? How this video ties all these wealth building principles into the digital world.
Right.
It's like the Wild West out there, right? Full of opportunity.
Absolutely. And the key, the video argues, is this. Shift your mindset from trading your time for a salary to creating value that can reach a global audience.
It's the classic example of like the nail manufacturer versus the doctor.
Right. Exactly. The doctor, they can only see a limited number of patients each day, no matter how good they are. But the nail manufacturer, selling online, they can reach an unlimited number of customers with the same amount of effort.
And that's the beauty of the digital age, right?
It is.
It's like the potential to scale your impact and your income.
It's incredible.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
And you know what else is considered a valuable currency in this digital age?
Information.
Yeah, it's like we're all sitting on this gold mine of knowledge, but we don't even realize it.
Right.
Think about it. Online courses, digital products, these subscription services, it's all about like packaging information.
And making it valuable.
Right.
Solving a problem for someone.
Exactly.
And the best part, the barrier to entry is so low. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need a fancy studio or a huge budget to share what you know. The creator of this video we're talking about, they actually built their business using AI-generated content.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I'm not saying we should all go out and like replace ourselves with robots,
Or-
but it just goes to show you the possibilities are endless.
Exactly. So I'm curious, as you're listening to this, think about, what are your skills? What are you passionate about? What do you know that other people might find valuable?
Because here's the thing. In a world where information is the currency, being able to create and share valuable content, that's powerful.
It's incredibly empowering. It's about being both a discerning consumer of information, but also a confident creator.
And you know, that's what I love about this deep dive. We've challenged some assumptions, explored some really practical tips, and kind of opened our minds to the possibilities, especially in this digital age.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot. Money mindsets, the actual like nuts and bolts of financial management, even like the spiritual side of wealth and abundance.
Yeah, it's a lot to digest. So if anything really resonated with you, don't be afraid to hit that rewind button, go back, listen again.
And as you continue on your own wealth building journey, we'll leave you with this. In this world where information is currency, what steps can you take to become a more discerning consumer, but also a more empowered creator of valuable content? What unique value can you offer?
That's a great question to ponder. Until next time, deep divers, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
See you next time.